I mean, I want to say I feel honored. Thank you, Brandy, what you are creating and all the contributions from everybody who was sharing. Such a high quality. It felt so uplifting. Yeah. Like my spirit is happy.
Well, I feel honored. I feel humbled. I tried to build this before, but only now, number one, is it time? But number two, the thing, whatever it is that is coming through me is so pure and real of the nurturing of the community that this Brandy brain couldn't take credit for it, that is doing this. You, as a beautiful reflector in this community that is, I've just respected and admired and loved since the day I learned about human design, coming into one of my spaces saying how good it feels is that's the honor. The new way. I live out loud. I evolve out loud. That what you see in me is not some polished thing. It's actually me being on the edge of my seat. We get to alchemize the fear of our individual bigness. We're all afraid of ourselves in some kind of way. We get to allow the fear and marry it with anticipation. I'm just here to say that you're seeing me still nervous. You're seeing me still afraid. And I'm doing it anyway. And I'm anxious. And I'm starting this space because I believe anybody who wants to come on this ride with me, is going to live in this space at the edge of their creation for a little while with me, at the edge of themselves, at the edge of their, oh my gosh, I am so nervous. I wanted to open the space with that because if you go on this journey with me, I'm going to introduce you to the journey. And if you go on it with me, we will be on the edge of ourselves and the edge of our, oh, this is me and the me I know myself to be. And I'm so afraid. But the coming together of those two things brings wisdom. Then my Saturn in gate 40 line 2 has created this beautiful thing to hold you after we sit in that uncomfortability of this is my design. I know I have wisdom to give. How do I give it? Especially in this world out there. And I'm going to say, here you go, baby. I'm a 29-degree Cancer ascendant. I am here to nurture you, to nurture this into the next thing as a manifestor 6-2, right? And so this thing that I've built is going to nurture and empower us. First, it's going to empower us to be who we say we be. And then it is going to nurture us by creating a structure that can get you resourced for your wisdom. The last 2 calls that I have just done with our global community about the High Desert Human Design conference itself in September. If you have not watched those videos, I'll just give you a very quick overview that the High Desert Human Design Conference is a 4-day gathering where we all come together and really practice what we know. You know, we are in these spaces all the time, but this is a live gathering. What happens in person doesn't always translate into the rest of our lives, right? We can go to ayahuasca experiences. We could go to these high breakthrough retreat events. We could go to all of these things that give us these outstanding breakthroughs of revelation, but they don't support in the integration, in the bringing the wisdom into the body. I've noticed the dissonance between who I be and how to get it in the world. I just wanted to be on the edge of myself and create a tool and give it to the next person who's right behind me. That's all I wanted to do. But the structures didn't support that. I knew to be true is just like the tree has never once held a sign that says, I will work for food. The squirrel has never one time gotten nervous about his 401k. I know that we are not squirrels. I know that we are not trees. I know that we have different capacity, but what I do know to be true, based on my own eyes, seeing the pattern of predictable behavior, is that when the things that were made be the thing they're supposed to be, they get everything they need to stay alive. So I started experimenting with that for myself. I'm one of those things. What if I just be who I be? How could I get what I need to get? And I became a victim to that in the marketplace for a little while. I'm like, okay, here's me. And I've tried and I tried and I tried. And then I'm like, oh, I'm a manifester. I said, it doesn't exist. And I must build something that allows me to stay on the edge of my becoming, that allows me to stay on the edge of marrying my knowing with my body's yummy wisdom. That is all our work is. And then we have compost. We have something that comes of that. All of us in this room have something that has come from our trying to stay alive in the world. That thing that comes from you is the thing that other people need. And they need it not in corporate America's way. They need it not in an 8-second soundbite. They need all of it. And what I know to be true is that when I become me, just like the tree, right? The tree's not trying to be a bush. The tree's not trying to be a squirrel. When I be me, I become a magnet for the things that are for me, right? Because the tree exists, the birds fly to it and put their nest there. The tree becomes a magnet for what is symbiotic to it. I become a magnet for what is symbiotic to me. I need to create a space that you can hear me, that we can hear you. As projectors, and I have a very deep relationship in that. What I have seen is that I want to see you. I have such a deep desire to see you. What is your wisdom? Where is your billboard? There is something in there, and I don't know how to ask for it out, because you know what? You're not here to guide my energy, but you're here to be wise, and people need to hear you. So how do we do that? I know that this is a no choice thing. I'm practicing the art of Wu Wei. There is something alive in front of me that needs change, and I'm changing it. And what that change is that projectors get to have a billboard, get to have a place that they're on the edge of their loving what it is that they are doing. I'm inviting you to put your wisdom on my billboard for people to see you and pay you. Because what I know to be true is when the people who are meant to serve start serving and the energy starts moving in this infinity, what I know is that creates the spiral for the rest of us. What I've created is a space for projectors to have a billboard in a way that people can invite you into themselves, right? So the WisdomKeeper pathway is for facilitators like you to turn what life has already taught you into offerings that can be shared and sustained. The spiral is the home for it. The spiral is the actual app and the computer platform, the structure that we will put your offerings in that will hold them in a grounded way and can sustain you over time. Something else that happened in my experiment that I want to change for all of us. For instance, my very first human design initiations when I was only 2 years in, and I thought I was the smartest human design teacher in the whole world, those initiations, because I was trying to prove something, are so incredibly impactful. The recordings of those. I don't do that like that anymore. Same with you. I want all of your past wisdom, even if it's not true today, because we live in this movie, right? We let our bodies move us and we just kind of write a story about it. We say that, oh, that's no longer true. That's no longer present. That was in the past. That is this. Yes, absolutely, that is true. And you still can have a structure that will resource you. And so this is going to be the home for your wisdom. Self-knowledge, especially within these modalities, like you all have mentioned, the disconnection between teaching and its applications in existing systems is widely apparent. Everybody is walking around saying they know it, and that could be very true. Are we embodying it? Are we living it? This ecosystem supports you by meeting real demand without being shaped by attention-based systems. So something else that I struggled with in this commerce economy, and again, I'm a 2644 fully defined ego, desire, motivation. I'm designed to be out here building business. This, what we are going to create, is not going to chase the attention. It is going to generate the field of evolution. If all of us in this room are moving with the energies in our bodies into the places and spaces that are for us, and letting our mind take a back seat, We are generating the field of what needs to be served transpersonally through the movement of consciousness in our body. We are not responding to the algorithm saying, okay, this week the algorithm's talking about transformation. So let me fit what I know in a small little 8-second bite about transformation. No, we are going to generate the field. And this could be a defined ego talking, and maybe it won't be true. But what it feels true right now is that this thing is going to turn into a toroidal field that holds the evolution of consciousness, that consciousness uses through awake vessels, through awake beings, to say, this is what we're working on now, humans. This is what we're working on now. This is what we're working to see now. This is what we're working to see now. So the Wisdom Keeper pathway invites you to create from what is true and lived incoherent in your body, not based on what the attention-based systems are asking you. This is going to create a toroidal field. I'm a bit nerdy with that, so you can get with me later and I can show you the science behind what that means, if you'd like, if that's interesting to you too. We have plenty of teachings. This market is saturated with teachings. Everybody's promising transformation, and they're promising this big breakthrough and this big understanding. And that's wonderful. And there is a time for that in the process. The market also needs, I need view, the market also needs a space to integrate those teachings. I don't know about you, but I have libraries full of teachings that I've went through. But until we have a full ecosystem in order to embody them, that's our next step. And that's what we're creating. The opportunity here is a structure where your work can live in the stages that you've created it within, where people can return to your wisdom and you can grow without constant output pressure. This is compost. This is you being resourced by what you've already created so that you can be on the edge of your being and not be on the edge of, I have to create so that I can sell something. This ecosystem is built to honor your rhythm and protect the depth of your work. So the reason I'm saying this about you is because we have to do what we say we want others to do. So I've created a space where you as a practitioner are here doing the work on the edge of remembering that you are energy embodied, that your mind is here to report and to hold space for after the fact, to measure and calculate, but that your body is here carrying the wisdom of the divine for whomever it is for, depending on what your design is. And so the space that I'm inviting you into is a space in which we will absolutely look at your specific mechanics and your specific mythology. And I will invite you into embodying that thing that is the easiest thing for you to give. The easiest thing for you to do is be you. And so we're just going to get to that point where you trust that, and then something is going to come. Whether it be through invitation, whether it be through response, whether it be through initiation, whether it be through the cycles that you move through, whatever it be, what I do know to be true is if you are here and you say you have a service to the world, it's not for no reason. And I just want to help you bring it out in a way that's sustainable for you and for the people that it's for. This ecosystem is organized by the spiral, the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So when you come into the Wisdom Keeper pathway in whatever way you decide, we will be in the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We will offer your offerings to potential people in the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We will then gather at HDHD to practice in person in the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This ecosystem, it's protecting regulated embodiment. It's protecting the ability to not gaslight ourselves out of the experience of being human. And so for participants, this sequencing, learning, less overwhelm, and return cycles that create depths. Okay, so for people, when people come into this space, I want to show you what this looks like. We are going to create spirals, wisdom, a teaching in each line of the spiral, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we are going to offer the spirals. But as a user in the app, people are going to come in here, and the very first thing we are going to ask them to do is to breathe. We are not offering them your face. We are not promising them an outcome. This app is asking them to get inside of their body first. So the very first unspoken understanding here is that the body is leading the way. This isn't a typical commerce site. So first, how to use the spiral. You ground in your wisdom. I even take them through a breathing exercise to arrive in the body. And then we simplify it. Oh, you want to know about human design and the 566 million things there are to know about human design? Okay, well, you're your own authority. Where do you want to start? They're like, I have no idea. Because they haven't been taught to be in their body yet. So we give them something easy to choose from. They choose a spiral or a practice that best suits them. They pick a practitioner that speaks to them in their body, and they return for more. There's no wrong way. There is an ability for all of us to have 360 offerings, a full circle. And I didn't do that on purpose. It actually just worked out mathematically when I built this app. I mean, obviously, 360 offerings is a huge endeavor. And that's not something I'm thinking we all are doing right yet. But I thought it was beautiful mathematics that I could see that that was the availability, is every single person here could bring a circle of their understanding. So after we ask them to get into their body, we say that you move in a spiral. We move in feeling safe, embodying it with relationships, moving into our family to experiment with it, sharing it with our community, moving into our collective to try to make it practical. And then we live it and we feel it in our bodies. This is how anything moves through its cycle of development. And so this is what we show people. This is how they start with us. And then once they get in, choose an area where life is active. It's very simple, right? This does not look like a human design app, and it doesn't have to just be human design. It can be any modality that we can imagine with the spine of human design language. So they say, you know what, am I working on self, relationship, family, community, collective, or am I in my spirit right now? So they just choose one thing, right? With their bodies. We're not trying to sell them us. This is new marketing. After they've done that, they choose, there's something alive in me in my relationships. So do I want to learn? Do I want to establish safety in my relationships? Do I want to allow insight to move in my body? Do I want to experiment through living the experience of it? Do I want to connect and practice with other people about it? Do I want to learn how to lead my relationship in another way? Or do I want to integrate who we are together, letting experience mature into wisdom? So the people that are coming into this ecosystem are not having to decide with their minds what they think they need. This is going to allow them to be in their body and to feel the direction their body's moving them in. And then the commons, each wisdom keeper will have their own community in this commons. And I can't show it to you now, unfortunately, but on the app, it looks like a Facebook or something. So it's the same natural, intuitive movements, but you'll have your community that can meet you here without having to be on Facebook. So you see everything that people post. People see everything that you post. There are push notifications, just like a Facebook would be, and that can be turned on and off. So it's just a whole community that is, the culture is you follow you to the person who is your magnet, right? You don't see a person, you see a process. You see your evolution being empowered to move into greater awareness. So here's the library. Anything you've ever bought would go in here. You can see I've been building a lot of things. And all of this is just templates for you. I've given you instructions on how to create for yourself your wisdom through this. So in each of these things, you'll go through it like you're doing a course, but it'll be me giving you instructions about how to move your wisdom through the spiral that you're in, if that makes sense. And then other screens, there will be, let me show you this one. Here's the Wisdom Keepers. So there will be a way for them to look for us specifically. So we'll have everybody here that's part of the spiral and their design, so we can see that. And then you'll also have your own page. Here's the page that I made for me so that I could show you what it could look like. Here's my latest YouTube on there. Here's some coaching. Here's some meditations I've done. Here's some things. Here's the upcoming events I'm in, the best moments of 2024. Join my community. Here are my offerings here. Do you want? So the things I teach are human design, self-empowerment, conscious relating, parenting, and astrology. So I have I have a spiral for each of those teachings. Well, 6 spirals, in fact. So human design, I have the self spiral, which has 6 teachings. In human design, I have the relationship spiral, which has 6 teachings. I have the family spiral, which has 6 teachings. Community, collective, spirit, all has 6 teachings. But I also have a self-empowerment series and a conscious relating series and a parenting series. So all of you, your wisdom, whatever it be, Chatty Cathy, it is voice and self-expression without fear. You could have 6 spirals of that with 6 teachings in each. So what I'm sharing with you, the other part of what I'm sharing with you, as I noticed in our marketplace as a businesswoman, is I saw we come to these grand conclusions and we're so excited we create a course about them for people, but they could really be taken apart into more digestible pieces, and there could be a greater exchange than what we see now. And so I've done that as well. Okay, so that's the app. Let me just make sure that's all I wanted to share about it. So you will have, that is all I wanted to share about the app itself. And then I wanted to let you know it is all here also in a platform on a computer. So you don't have to access it on the app in order to be part of it. It's all here in the compute here. So let's say I've chosen the self first. Tell me to breathe. Now we breathe, breathe, breathe. Okay. Now I've chosen I want to work on myself. Now I say, okay, this is where I encounter the topic. I want to learn something new about myself. Well, your teaching will be right here next to mine. And whatever else teaching you have will be right here next to mine. Don't mind the prices or anything. I was just putting it in there. So it's all in the pages too, or on the computer, I mean. Here's the first line on the computer. Self, relationships, family. It obviously looks better on the app. But here, this will all be built for you. So imagine, instead of my picture, imagine your picture. So here's my human design spiral, little landing page, for people to say, well, what do I want to do? Do I want to learn it? And it gives them a little bit more information about the topic that I've offered, right? And then a little quote, the self spiral isn't about becoming somebody new. It's about realizing what never belonged to you. So little things, right? You will have all of this as well. I've made all of this templated so that the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 stays the same. What comes within it is our individuation. And that's what I see out there in the universe. This structure is just what the universe uses. Everything, the squirrels, the trees, the cosmos, the planets, the quantum physics of it all, our blood in our bodies, everything moves through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is just the structure for our individuation to exist within. So again, in these modules, people are going to say, okay, well, what do I do in line 1? And what they are not knowing is they're learning the hexagram structure as they first come in. They're like, oh, 1 means embody. 1 means learn. 2 means embody. 3 means experiment. So now they have a visceral body lived experience of the hexagram structure. And so line 1. And then here are all of the offerings that I have in line 1, where I've built a foundation of what Wild Mind writing looks like. Here's some Human Design and Gene Keys resources. Here's some embodiment resources. Here's my introduction to Human Design 101 that I did in 2017. Here's a really cool little reel I made one time that I thought should go in here. So here it is. So you see, anything can be put in here. Any of your wisdom. There are 46 lessons that I have in this one self spiral. And there are just little pieces of brilliance, little transmissions that have come through. It doesn't have to be created like the marketplace tells you to create it. People will come to hear what you have to say in whatever way you're designed to share it. And this structure just holds. Okay. Are there any questions so far?
So as far as, 2 questions. 1, would all the offerings be paid offerings, or would we have a combination of free and paid offerings?
Yeah, it's all your discretion.
Okay. And will people be able to sort for that? So like if they're only interested in free offerings initially, they'd be able to tell. Okay. And then the other question is, can you show me like what somebody coming to the app would see when they're like, oh, okay, who's this Brandy person? Like I'm assuming you have like a profile spot. Like what would that look like?
This is the screen right here
Okay.
where
So-
I created it, and you'll create yours to look like what you want, and we'll work together to do it. So you're not on your own on this. You don't have to know how to do this. I'm going to help you.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of options we can do here. For me, I like to put my YouTubes, that's my free stuff.
Okay.
And then here's some other things you can do when you work with me. This page is all about me, but they don't get to it until after they have already breathed. They have already picked the spiral of life they'd like to work in. They've already picked the practice, that they want to do. And then they're like, oh, look, there's Brandy, there's Kathy, there's Jen. Oh, who's Brandy? And now they see who's Brandy. They see who's Kathy. They see who's Jen. We are not first. They are first.
And will this be linked? Like, okay, so let's say someone's done a couple of your things and a couple of Jen's and a couple of mine or whatever. And then all of a sudden they think, you know what? I really like Jen. She's just different than everybody else. And I want to have a reading with her.
Yep.
Like, will we put our readings and things like that on here too? Like
100%.
Like our mentor stamp, that sort of thing.
And it has the Kajabi platform. So it has a lot of backend capability. It holds one-on-ones, it holds cohorts, it holds the call itself. It will all be in their app right here. Any teaching, any call, any one-on-one you've done with them will show up in the app right here in their library.
So we'll be doing our readings through this in some way then? Because
no, you can do it on Zoom, and then when you put it in their platform, it just automatically, I have it to where it shows up here in their library. So you'll do your one-on-one like you do your one-on-one. You can have the availability to do it inside of the Kajabi app, but you could just do it on Zoom and then put it in their account, and then it'll be available to them on their library.
Okay, so we'll upload the recording basically.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just like you'd probably do to however you give it to them anyway. It would just be available.
Okay. Yeah, we could figure that out later.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I hope to have a widget that I talked to Kajabi, and they are working on a widget that connects Zoom and Kajabi so that after your Zoom meeting, it just goes in there. So they are working on doing it that way so that we don't have to upload. But yeah, that is part of the process. And right now I am doing all of this work, and I'm happy to do it in the first year or so. But just to know that our first cohort, you guys, us wisdom keepers, are the builders of this. The next people who come through this, we are going to hire people to do this kind of work, to do all of this building and all of this stuff. But right now, we're doing it together to work out the kinks so that we can teach people in the future how to do it better.
Good. No, that answers it.
So it's all online as well. Again, just showing you examples of what it would look like for them, for the people who come to you. This spiral ecosystem, this is our logo, but all of these little logos, you can use the things that I've made that have the information on them, or it could be your own. It can all be customized. The instructor that's there, so it's all here. Let's see what else. Here's what the community looks like. You could have your offers. This is the main community. Kathy can make hers that would have Kathy's event or a little thing there, and Kathy's offers, and maybe Kathy's meetups. But it's all of everybody will have their individual communities and then one big community. This is a podcast that I've created called Keeping Wisdom. And what's going to happen is over the next year, you and I are going to talk about this process together if you come aboard. And we're going to talk about what this means to create on the edge of ourselves, to be our own resource. And we're going to talk about what this is like for us in all of our different ways and all of our different designs, and share with people that it is possible for them to be resourced and have everything that they need by being who they are. That's what this is for. And obviously marketing, advertising, things like that. This is, again, part of this program. This isn't something you buy into or that's additional. This is our newsletter, where I would like for all of us, if we feel to write something, to send in a picture, to whatever's alive in you. If you feel to, I'm going to post a newsletter every month, and it'll just be Notes from the spiral. We're in it, guys. This is what's going on. This platform also has the availability of download. I know Dewan specifically is creating a lot of beautiful imagery, and we can put this for however much he's selling it for. We can sell this beautiful imagery for downloads here. Journals, worksheets. I create lots of meditations. So this is a place where people can come to see what they can download from you, what they can get in that way. And okay, I think that's all of the logistic stuff. Now let me get, okay, this was important to me, this compass, because I want to work with people who have this compass. This is my compass. This is where I face forward. And you don't have to, this doesn't have to be your whole compass, but these things I hope are important to you too. Value integration over revelation. Less interested in peak experiences and more in what could be lived. You recognize that containers protect depth rather than limit it. You orient towards individuation, not hierarchy, honoring the difference between needing to organize things into better or worse. This is not a better or worse space. In this culture, we would like to, I am creating a culture of witnessing, of allowing. Speaking from lived experience rather than theory and catching ourselves when we do it, right? This is evolving out loud. This is being a role model. Like, look, I'm saying this stuff and I'm the best hypocrite of it. I'll tell you all day long that I can teach you and teach you and teach you, but there's a lot of stuff that I can teach you that I can't do. And so I'm going to tell you that. And I'm going to give you that information and I'm going to be honest about it. And I hope that that's one of your value compasses as well. That you move at the pace of your body and you don't put on fake face because you want to be my friend or you want to be liked, loved, or appreciated. That you honor your body and the pace in which it moves. I jumped around a little bit, but I think you've probably read most of them. Your work stands on its own. You are not chasing relevance. And you feel responsibility for what you carry and how it lands in others. That is something that this market kind of talks us out of. It talks us out of, or at least makes us so busy trying to be heard that we forget the impact we're making on people. Are we actually being effective? Are they hearing what we're trying to say? Or did we just get our faces in front of them, right? So the responsibility for how it lands in others. This structure will have it land in others with growth. Another thing in the culture that I'd like to establish is that the way commerce is right now, people get rich because they make other people feel bad, wrong, and shameful, and that they need to pay to be better, right? That's just the way it was supposed to be. In this realm, something that I've known from the very beginning is that my living, my resourcedness can't come from you being fucked up. Because I want all of us to be great. Like, we all want to be great. I can't make money on you being not great, because then that means that in order for me to be resourced, you have to continue to be not great. No way. You come to me and I work with you so that you will not have to work with me anymore. The goal is not 2 years working with me. The goal is get the wisdom, integrate it into your life and become your own authority. That's a compass that I'd love to create in our awareness. Oh. Okay, so how do we do this? What do we do? How do we start? This is the end of the presentation, guys, promise. 3 pathways to become a wisdom keeper in the Spiral app. And please know, as I go through all of this, this is the very first year. What I'm offering here is kind of, it's equal to, in logistics, to some publishing houses like Sounds True or Calm, or these places that collect wisdom and then consumerize it and give it to people. This is kind of the same model, that we're collecting wisdom, but your wisdom belongs to you. I am not taking a percentage of any of the money that you earn. We are having a co-op of a creation of a structure. We, as wisdom keepers who beginning to build this is the first time we're doing it. So the exchange is way less than it will be in the future. And I am going to ask for feedback in any circle. And I've invited you here because I want you here. And so if any of this feels out of reach or uncomfortable for you, please talk to me personally because I want you here. So I'm prefacing all of that because I know you want to be here too. And so I want to make this happen. So 3 pathways. First is an architect. This is the full high-touch 6-month mentorship, building tangible products. You and me will build tangible products for the next 6 months. You will have 6 products live on the app and on the website and to offer people at HDHD. Because remember, this app is what they're going to use to navigate the conference and to stay connected with the facilitators after the fact. So I am only doing 1 of these cohorts before HDHD 2026, and you guys would be it. I'm doing 10 people. And so those 10 people will be the only people, besides the facilitators at HDHD, their offerings that they give at HDHD will be available on the spiral, but nothing else. You guys' will. That's the Architect for 2026 program. We will work together every single week. We will move through some of the therapeutic things that keep you from believing that your wisdom can be resourced, because that always comes up. We'll move through some of your own personal blocks to remembering and understanding your wisdom. And you will have a full-fledged podcast newsletter, forward-facing structure to sell your wisdom after 6 months. So you'll have a felt recognition of your unique thread of service through your human design and astrologic charts, not as a brand, right? I'm not coming out here to brand you, to say this is your Mercury. So come out here and use your Mercury to brand yourself. That's not what we're doing at all. We are using this as a guide to you speaking your truth. And from there, you'll develop a set of offerings that express that thread through the 6 lines of the hexagram. And they can take any form: teachings, sessions, circles, experiments, workshops, reflections, whatever, just however you express yourself. The WisdomKeeper Residency, this is for people who already have offerings, right? If I were coming into this circle, I already have 50,000 offerings. All I have to do is figure out where they fit in the spiral. And then you can put your offerings. You don't have to work with me on a high touch every week, create your offerings. That's what I want to have 10 people to nurture through, because that's my genius, is to create with you in that way. But you don't have to do that in order to be part of the spiral. If you already know you have offerings and you want to put them in the spiral, you can do that in October. And then there's a WisdomKeeper circle, which will meet every single month. And we'll have a lab together, like a workshop together, where we will cultivate your offerings. So the WisdomKeeper Architect, you're going to work with me. We're going to be best friends, and we're going to build an entire business for you to be forward facing by the time the conference comes. And you'll do 1 complete spiral. 6 forward facing offerings, pricing and positioning I'll work with you on, evergreen and course design. We'll look at all of that kind of stuff and create it. Yeah, this is for somebody whose full body of work needs to be brought into public visibility. The circle is ongoing monthly subscription. It's a refinement call. It's, okay, I have these offerings and I think they go here. And, we'll sit together and talk about the psychological development, the arc development that happens in a line 1, in a line 2, so that you can make sure you're taking people through those experiences with your wisdom. You're not required to place an offering. In this circle, this is for people who don't know yet. They just want to come and kind of see. You're not required to place an offering. When you're ready, you can move into the residency or the apprenticeship. And this is for people who are moving towards clarity. They know they want to be here. They're not sure if you want to commit to this whole thing, but you really want to be with us who are developing that. And then again, the residency is just the annual structure where you pay in your portion just to have your stuff on here. So everything is housed in the spiral. Self-determined spiral and line placement. I'm not the boss of this. So this is not you have to apply and meet my criteria. No. This is just the structure I'm offering. So if you think that yours fits the criteria, can you come into the spiral and you'll see if that is what people are receiving from you or not. The architect is $3,600. And it sounds like a lot of money, but it actually is not. For every single week, you're going to have a forward-facing full platform. This gives you the app, the pages, the website, the development with me, and weekly meetings, and a cohort of 10 people. And so this includes the setup fees and everything. Your residency for that spiral that we build will start. So $75 a month will start after the conference. And that $75 a month is what everybody will pay so that we can hire somebody to do all of the work. Because right now I'm doing it and I want to pay someone. And so I'm going to be very transparent with this and these numbers. Again, the way that I earn my living, my resourcedness, is the architect program, is because I am very good at sitting with you and initiating you into yourself, right? That's my personal service to the world. This spiral and WisdomKeeper that I've built is for all of us. I want it to be kind of a co-op model where I'll come and say, hey, we got somebody who's going to put all of our stuff on there, and this is what they're going to charge us. Do we all agree? Kind of thing. So the residency is a $1,200 setup. The reason that $1,200 setup is there, and that's already included in this one, is because it takes me about 10 hours once you've given me all of your stuff to do the pictures, the uploads, the tagging, all of the stuff that happens in Kajabi, the connecting, the development. That takes me about 10 hours. And then again, you'll just pay the hosting. Whatever you charge for your offerings, that's your money. Eventually down the road with the new people, we might do some kind of affiliate share if we need to grow the spiral in some kind of way. But again, we being our first people, we'll decide that as it comes, but it will be transparent. And then the circle, if you just want to belong to the circle and develop your offerings outside of the apprentice program, then you can join the circle. I'd love for you to join the circle at 3-month rhythms at a time, because I desire the ability to allow a topic to get regulated. And if I allow monthly drop-ins, you're going to come in with a brand new hot idea and you're going to try to workshop it one day. That's not the way we develop anything. So I'll need a 3-month. So we'll in-breath it, we'll out-breath it, and then we'll give it. I do have scholarship opportunities and a video editor trade seat. If anybody here knows how to edit videos, because there will be new wisdom keepers that come after we develop this. And so whatever it is that we develop, I'd like to have the videos to be able to offer to them, whoever comes next. So I will trade that architect program for somebody to edit videos. And scope and delivers and timeline will be agreed upon in advance. It'll all be in writing, so there won't be any confusion about what I expect. Does anybody want to be a wisdom keeper? Come play with me.
I would love if you turned your camera back on now.
Okay, yeah. Oh, I forgot it was off. Just all right.
And missed your face.
Hi.
I'm very excited, and I will take that as an invitation to ask more questions, if that's okay.
Yes, please.
Okay. So I'm I've been excited about this since the very beginning mentions of it. I think it's a wonderful idea. I am curious about a couple of things, like I love how you're letting everyone decide where to put their stuff, and I think that's really important. But there's also this part of me that is a little leery of how this could become a bit chaotic. And, it's kind of like, do we want an HOA or do we want with, cars on cinder blocks in front of, the houses type of thing?
Yeah.
And I'm wondering how you may have addressed that in your thought process here.
Beautiful. Thank you for asking that. And the application process is where you have to show where you think it meets the criteria of the universe. It's not me. It's you. I just give you the information about this is the mental, emotional, psychological, psychosocial. These are the spectrums of consciousness we move through when we are moving through the developmental process of anything. I'm going to give you that spectrum, and you're going to share with me what your reasoning behind, oh, it does move through that spectrum. Okay. And that's the reasoning we're going to use. And then here's what we're going to do. We're going to trust that the universe's system of doing that is the thing that's the right thing to do. Even though our brains say it could get chaotic, it could, we are going to trust the structure of the universe, and we're going to test our own selves every time we say we shouldn't. I don't want to be the boss of anyone, right? I don't want to do any of that. I don't want this to be bureaucracy. When I said you had to fill out an application, my eyes rolled way back in my head like, ugh, who wants all of these things? And 6, the darkness will dissipate itself. And I do fully trust that this spiral, this ecosystem that I have created, that we are creating, is going to breathe with the ebb and flow of this works and this doesn't work anymore. And this works and this doesn't work anymore. And we are going to hold the bandwidth for being dynamic and making adaptations and corrections when the time calls for it, following the structure of the way the universe has proven anything to be sustainable. I know it's abstract. That's why I've chosen you, because I know you can hold the abstract with the practical at the same time. I wonder if that helped your question.
Yeah, and it's interesting because my big mantra is radical self-trust, right? But yet there's still this part of me that's like, ooh, because there's a lot of, right now, in the spiritual community, we're finding there's a lot of people that are not necessarily who we want leading us, right? Who've been putting themselves out there as, having it all together in some ways. And I don't know. I'm feeling
What doesn't come out in the wash? What doesn't come out in the wash comes out in the rinse, and I fully trust that. I 100% know that if you are in these calls on the edge of your experience of yourself, you are not here selling me something you're not doing.
Yeah.
That is why I've created this. This is a doing and a receiving at the same time. You are not here in some hierarchical structure saying, I'm the master of anything. You are saying, I am this design, and here's the wisdom that comes from it. Do you want it?
Yeah.
And so it comes from that place, not from the mind saying I must package something to make someone feel some kind of way. And how do we prevent those types of people from being in this ecosystem? We employ radical trust, like you said. We are remembering that all of us wisdom keepers, in order to keep wisdom, it is about remembering in every single moment that you get to trust yourself even when you don't, and doing the alchemy when you don't have that trust of yourself to see whether that is a proper nervous system response. You are here doing the work. You won't be here doing the work if you're fake. It's just that it takes out itself. 36, the dark extinguishes itself. It will every time, and I know it and I trust it. Even if I have to hold my bandwidth for it to be here and say, fuck no with all of my chest, right? That it will happen. I can do that. I can be in that in-breath and out-breath, and I want to teach us all to do that. Thank you. That is such a deep and beautiful question, and I'm so glad you asked it.
I have a question, Brandy. Can you speak more to the mentorship, how you work with people to help them create offerings?
Yes. Ooh, beautiful. Let me show you. Okay, well, how we're going to work with each other every month, each week is outlined. We're going to do foundation and placement in the first week. So week 1, we're going to orient to the spiral structure. We're going to talk about the body of work that you have to offer. We're going to preliminarily map your offerings to see where they are. And if you don't have offerings, we're going to do this with your wisdom itself, right? We're going to be talking about what is the thing that is alive in you right now. And then I'm going to be asking you questions for you to answer them and develop your own. Oh, this is line 1. Oh, this is line 2. So I'll just keep asking you questions to develop this. Week 4 is a structural review and coherence check. So we're going to see if that's where it's supposed to go. We're going to allow movement. Week 5, we're going to start building your lessons. And we'll do a one meeting will be a one-on-one between just me and you. 1 week a month, we'll have a one-on-one. 1 week a month, we'll have a teaching. 1 week a month, we'll have a workshop. So we'll get together, we'll have those mushy moments of, I don't think I can do this. Yes, you can. And all that comes into all of that and what that wisdom is that is coming through you on a one-on-one will come into group. I'll teach you the concept of the line in really deep detail. Then we'll come together again as a group, workshopping and building. But each week there's something there. In the phase 3, we're going to talk about pricing for your offers, what feels good to you. That is something, Kathy, that I am holding space for chaos on, that I know will need some polishing in the future, because we'll have people that'll charge $5,000 for a video and people that'll charge 50 cents for a video. And so we got to work out the middles of that. So I'm holding space for the chaos. I know that might happen, but that's okay, because we're all on the edge of working it out. What I know to be true is this structure that I've created, if we link arms and be allies and allow the universe to Red Rover us, we're going to find a new way to commerce. We're going to find a new way to be resourced by the world around us with our wisdom. This is just my idea of how it could go at the beginning, but please know that I'm open and it will always change, right? I'm a manifester. I just bring it. And then the generators change it into what it needs to be, the generators and projectors. So just know that this gets to be polished. This isn't a finished product. It's just a manifestor initiation. Phase 4 is integration and visibility. So this is where I'm going to spend a lot of time in the back end, where I'm going to be building for you basically, and then we'll meet and you'll look at it and we'll make sure everything's tagged right and everything is the way that you'd like it to look. And then we're going to rehearse for the high desert human design presentation if you want to. We'll refine it. We'll maybe give each other our presentations if we want to. So at the end of it, you will have one full spiral. Did that answer your question?
Yes, thank you. And if there are certain weeks, like if we have vacation plans or something like that, then is everything recorded? And
yes. Let me get back here so you can see my face again. Yes, everything will be recorded, and this container, this very first container, is going to probably be different than most of the containers you've been in, because we're developing this together. I'm inviting you on a ride with me. So, like Marla, if you have a vacation planned and we're building your embodiment thing and it was supposed to be on a Wednesday, you and I will get together on Thursday and do it. Like, I am dedicated to the build and nurturing your build and putting your wisdom there. So just because you missed a Wednesday with me doesn't mean you've missed it and you're on your own. That's not the kind of course this is this time. We're building together. So I'm as invested in you as you will be in me.
okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Yes, dear Steph. You haven't even unmuted and I see it.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for seeing it. I just had this like, why are you doing this invitation to, I mean, like, I know it's all in there, but like, I would love to hear you speak about like, yeah, the why for you.
Oh, I
if
love
you've
that.
got it.
Yes, I do. And I love to share this why, because this is the only thing that matters. My why is probably threefold, maybe more than that, but I'm just going to talk about the 3 for now. My why is, first, me, have a lot of wisdom to give the world, and I'm really fucking tired of trying to do it the way they want me to do it. It doesn't work for me. And when I tried to shrink myself into that box, the people that came to me were just consumers. They didn't get anything. I didn't get where I wanted to get because the container wasn't the container that I wanted to give. It was the one that they thought they should have for the commerce that was here. There's the manifestor anger, right? That's what moves anything. And then, maybe if I got a little more vulnerable, I would share that I want to belong to people that are doing this too. I need a Red Rover team. I can't do this by myself. I've gotten to the edge of being able to do this by myself. This isn't a just me game. And so I've done a lot of work to move all the things out of the way that says that I am not inspiring or important. And I don't have anything to give. And I've moved all of that out of the way. And I said, you know what? There's this thing inside of me. And I know we could all belong much more deeply if I just got fucking brave enough to build it and to invite people to do it with me. So there's another why. And the other why is because I am so fucking good at empowering you. And it's the way I get reciprocity outside of money. It feels like when I can remind you of who you are, it feels like I am touching the feet of God. It feels like more payment than I could ever receive in a million years. It's the most humbling thing I could ever imagine, to be the person that could remind God who she is. That's me. These are my whys. The rest of it's just putting it together and trying to ask you to come with me. But thank you for asking.
Yeah, just thank you for all of that, Brandy. And yes, indeed, the thank you for reminding me, or helping to illuminate who I am as we've done that work together. I've so appreciated that. I think that I'm being initiated by it. And yeah, I'm just taking it in. And I notice a lot of the walls of but this isn't how it's done. This isn't how it's, looked before. And I know that because of that, it tracks for me in terms of okay, keep going, keep following the trail here. Go, keep going. So, but yeah, I think that more questions will emerge. And I guess I'm curious on that. Do you have a place as a question arises for me in the middle of the night that might be of benefit to everybody? Also, do you have, I know we're talking about a WhatsApp or something.
Yeah.
Is there something to?
Mm-hmm. I will make that for this group. And that's a great idea. And thank you for that, because yes, Stephanie, the questions that you ask will be important, I'm sure, for many people. So I will do that. The program will start at the end of March. So we do have a couple of weeks to decide. And again, I tried to make those 3 different programs so that it's not unreachable, so that it's $100 if you want it that way. It's $75 a month if you want to be your own autonomous self and still be part of it. Again, that won't happen until October, though. So the only people that I'm going to be putting all of my energy to from now to September are the people that are in the architect program, the WisdomKeeper architect, because it's going to take a lot for 6 months to build 10 people's businesses. So that's what I'm going to be focusing on. But there is no barrier to entry, I hope. And if you want to be an architect and there is some sort of barrier financially, please share with me. I invited you here because I want you here, and I want it to be a win-win for both of us. Yes, my dear Archangel Raphael.
Angela. So yeah, what I'm feeling is that we're in a moment, quite a moment of major shift. And there's a lot to integrate and a lot to see what wants to evolve. Right now in front of my noses, certainly for me, this is coming up in very big scale. Obviously, there's a tremendous attraction to be part of this. There's also a long history of financial stuff.
Yeah.
I also trust completely, like Kathy would say, to a fault, you might say, but not a fault. And I have patience. So for me personally, there's very strong attraction, not just to follow this program, but to work with you anyway, because I think that the evolution of what wants to come is part of that, part of the meal. So patience and trust are going to have to be predominant for the next few weeks, as I feel that what's wanting to come in starts to come in and shift things, because the money paradigm is like, bottom line has to shift.
For all of us.
I see, summits and whatnots about that. Even Dr. Brad with the body code, he's part of a whole big summit on manifesting money or whatever, abundance, whatever it's called. And I think this is a key element for the times we're in, for those who are on the collective creatives, you might call us. So that's where I'm at. You know where I'm at, because we share together anyway. And I'm letting it all just state.
Perfect.
The details, all that stuff is all too much for the,
It's so much, I know.
and I'm already committed to another kind of act for the body code and the emotion code, and it's an ongoing process. So I assume that process will help to shift the limited perspective around abundance and success.
Yes. That is my desire, is to show that we are resourced according to our wisdom and the relevance of it, and to build the capacity to remember that we are not always relevant, and that our true and authentic experience and wisdom is here at a time, and it ebbs and flows just like the experience of the world around us, but creating a structure that can hold it all. Yeah, I'm not sure what my point was. It was in changing the paradigm of economics, in remembering, I don't have all the answers for that. And I know that I still am in a very maturing phase of understanding the ebb and flow of the dollar. I think that there's corrupt energy behind it. So the understanding of pattern recognition is a little hard for me right now. But what I do know is that when I look out in the world, I know that the tree gets what it needs. And if it doesn't get what it needs, it's because the field needs it to not get what it needs. There's a radical trust that goes on. I've never not survived. Look at me. I've never not survived. No matter how scared I got, no matter how many hours I spent worrying, no matter how many strategies I tried to put in place to protect myself, right? This is my transference in human design, this thing that they say that, I'm designed to move forward with what I want. And that is the thing that is supposed to get me everything I need. And when I practice that, I see that that's true. But my mind says, you must make money. You must. And so what you said at the very beginning is definitely our ethos here, is that there is a radical trust that we get to put in place that trusts that this is all working itself out, and practice the art of Wu Wei. I'm not saying just to surrender and just sit around and wait for it to happen. I'm saying when something is proper for us to move in our body, we will move, and trusting that to be our resourcedness. So I would love to hold that, yes, as you said, in this container.
I'm also going to offer my skills. Looks like in your app, I noticed one or two typos.
Oh my gosh, thank you.
My proofreading skills are after this.
Thank you. I am definitely not good at that. And I know that it dysregulates some people. So please know it's not my intention to be sloppy or to make mistakes in spelling. I just really don't see it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for making the effort to be here, even though it was hard.
Well, I'm on screen now.
You are. Yes, hi. Nisar, my dearest.
Okay.
I'd love to hear what you have to share.
Well, wait until I say what I say.
Okay, let me hear it. I still would love it.
First of all, Brandy, I want to thank you. I didn't really understand everything, honestly. And I am a complete, I mean, I can say that idiot in the field of this digital world with all these apps and things. And I am happy if I manage my emails and, and open up the MMI for pulling out a chart. And, but what I am responding to with you is really the frequency that comes off of you. And it is incredibly uplifting. And it's kind of like I'm sitting here and it's almost like it doesn't matter what you say. And I'm just getting it, and I'm just getting in a way like a certain kind of a roof, that was fixed and tight is about to explode and something completely new can happen. In which way I can be part of it, I don't know really, because I do feel like, if anything, I feel like human design has helped me become quite a simpleton, I would say. And less, I mean, the way it has reached me and the way I have worked with for so many years, since 1999, it came to me, was that I understood the simplicity of it, the simplicity of application, actually, and that I trust. And that is what I stuck with in a way all these years. I've only taught live in order, and in all these years, with hardly any, I never had a business card or anything. I do feel like I'm like the tree, the field, whatever, feels attracted or not. And actually, I mean, I'm going to turn 75 on the 10th of March very soon. And I feel like I have thrown seeds of this human design for so many years all over the world. I was in China, everywhere, and I feel like it's almost like there's nothing pulling me to do more.
Yeah.
The only thing that I feel like the only thing that I can be available for is if there is an interest to share my unbelievable amount of experience with it for so many years with so many people, and as a reflector, and because of my background in working with energy all my life before already. So understanding energy has always been my field, and frequencies, and in which way to support, actually in a very simple way, through me being just a tree and nothing else. Even if I don't say anything, to support people to kind of like create the space that whatever is hidden in them can kind of come out and flower. That's actually my joy to watch in a very simple kind of a way. So if there is a space somewhere, I feel like I'm kind of a reflector. To me, the kind of the joker in the card game. You can place me anywhere, but don't fix me any place. So I feel like whatever community is being created, whatever new thing is being created, I feel like I can be available to be called. I'm a 2/4.
Yeah.
Be called in just to kind of fill a slot. If you want me to share something from my experience, that's it. And I'm not even thinking about any money about it right now. It's just my joy. I feel like I have gathered such richness inside and just from experience that I'm just happy if there is an opportunity to share. And if there is no opportunity to share, I'm also happy pottering around in my kitchen. My environment is kitchen. I'm also fine by now. But I'm very happy that I felt the call, and I thank you, Brandy, for initiating something so beautifully new. And it's such an opening. Maybe one more thing I can say, I've been in many gatherings lately also, and also in Ibiza, And I have, from the beginning, also in all the events with Ra, from the beginning, I've been aware how, in spite of this amazing system that shows us in a way how we can be truly who we are, I've always picked up whatever discord is there also amongst the people, amongst the teachers, also amongst the experts, and kind of have been longing for it to come to a place where that can be transcended. And truly, with that knowledge, in a way, everybody can just be part of a community and is not being whatever talked about and put down or put up or whatever it is, but just
accepted
uplifted in a way into whatever they are and whatever they can, whatever each can contribute. Yeah. So that's basically my little input for this meeting now, and I'm happy to have been present.
I would love to share with you one of the reasons. Well, of course, I told you how much I loved you and that you are quite a mentor for me. But there's another reason. And one of the reasons that I think is important is things like you, not that you have exactly what you need right now. And as a manifester, that's such a paradox for me to hold, right? Because I am here to make change, to bring something, to be, to move from the inside. They are projected channels. They're all about the other. The reason I'm saying all of this is because something inside of me, not that I'm making a judgment about you could have more, but there's something inside of me that feels like your wisdom doesn't have a home to live in, and you have, it's like, so let me share with you the visual. I didn't expect to share this right now. I'm so sorry. I'm not sorry. Here, I'm at the front of my process, guys. You're watching it. The information, when I tap into Nisarg in the field of nothingness, you hold dimensions, different dimensions. You hold an older, wise dimension, and you hold a leading edge, impetuous dimension, right? Both of those, excitement for what's happening right now, but wisdom and depth in what was and what has been, and the truth, the big T truth things. And you're not here to know technology. You're not here to know computers. You're not here to know these things. And there's a lot of our elders that have wisdom in the community, Raphael, you, Ray. There's a lot of people that have wisdom in the community that are not here to know how to build these structures, but I am. And I want your wisdom there. I want you resourced in this economy. You don't have to be poor just because you don't know computers. We are a community. We can come together, and my skills can resource you, and your wisdom can hold me up. And so the world needs you and needs you. It's such a paradox to say, right? I feel the movement through my body that the world could benefit from more of you, and everything is perfect exactly the way it is. That total paradox. And so the space is like, I want to come to you and say, okay, Nisarg, you say you don't know, and you don't have to know. Nobody has to know. I'm here to initiate you, to say, what do you want to talk about? And then I set up the video recording. I make sure everything looks right. I put all the marketing where it needs to be, and you say your thing. And then I put it out there in the world on the apps and in the medias and in this and in that and in so that you can get money.
Wow. Thank you, Brandy.
Mm-hmm. That's the symbiosis. I'm good at that. You pay me to do that. I'll pay you. I'll make something that pays you, right? And we're all doing that. I think that this economy we can create is one that, from our authentic expression and authentic movements through the world, we can make sure we are all resourced. Because I don't give a shit if I have $1 bazillion. If you don't have a food on your table, that matters to me. That's the new commerce. That's the new paradigm. that we come together in fractals. Not everybody, maybe, but in fractals, in forest fractals, right? The ocean doesn't take care of the forest takes care of the forest. If we're a forest, we're going to take care of each other. And if my skills can benefit your resourcedness, I'm going to give them to you.
Wow. Woo, that's huge. Wow. Brandy.
This is the culture I'd like to create.
And that's the culture I like to live in.
And so I love that we've been match made by the universe in heaven.
Yeah. Wow. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh. Yeah.
Guys, thank you for being here for so long and for being with me. Even if you don't, something else I want to share. I know everybody's already left, but I believe in proper timing and trust everything. So even if right now is not the right time, you are still invited. I still want you to be with me and us. Yeah. Even if the timing is not right now. So please get in touch with me if you have any questions or you want to work out a win-win, or you want to just say, yes, Brandy, here you go. Let's do it. Whatever you want to do. I'm here for it.
Yeah, I'm really excited about what you're growing here, and I could see myself working with you in that deeper capacity. But I'm going to say the word capacity again. That's my concern is in the next 6 months, will I have the capacity with what else is on my plate to be creative in this way?
That's a great question to ask.
And that's what I'm going to be feeling into. And it's been coming up for me in the last few months in several ways, because in order to support our family, I have another job that I have to do right now. And I tell myself I have to do it, but then I always wonder if I weren't doing that and then I actually have the energy to put forth into growing my business more, then what would that look like? So it just has felt in the last few months, particularly because I feel like what I am doing in that other job was very aligned. I definitely had a response for it, but I'm a 1-3 and I've been doing it almost 3 years now. And I can feel that kind of separation happening. Still that. Yeah. All the mental games that we play, the what if. So that's kind of where I am now, because I do feel like I would have so much more energy to create if I weren't doing that. But then what would the other concerns be?
Yeah. You're at a beautiful stage. You're at that moment where it's like, oh yes, I do believe in radical self-trust, but I have to support my family. So maybe
I have somebody going to college next year and somebody else who needs surgery, and I live in a culture where we have to pay so much for both of those things.
Right. And how do we find the middle? We wouldn't be here if this wasn't right. And so I'm always in that remembering. We wouldn't be here if this wasn't where we are supposed to be. We're supposed to be where? Here, because we are. And so this beautiful ability to allow your body to follow its energy, whether it's now or later. And I hear you in that demand. And there is whatever void it is, it's not, I'm not talking you into this, but I'm saying when you jump into the void jumps back. And that's all I want to remind you of. When you do the scary thing picks you up.
Yeah.
Almost always.
I totally agree with that.
Yeah.
My spouse.
Oh, right.
He is not so much in that headspace.
Yeah.
So that's always the challenge too. I think with especially like I have the defined spleen and he has the undefined spleen, right? So it's like I feel like this,
Wow, that's a beautiful lesson in and of itself for all of us. How do we be the fullest of ourselves with our beloved, being so different and allowing them to be the fullest of themselves? This is the work.
Yep.
Yeah. And this space is not just going to be us coming together building business. We're going to be doing this. We're going to be talking about this stuff. The edge of allowing our design to exist in all of its fullness, in every part of our life, not just the ones that are easy.
Right. And it's so important because that's literally what I talk to my clients about. And I remind them I'm in it too.
Yeah.
I'm in it too. So,
yeah. And that's what's going to be the marketing of this thing. So if we're talking about business marketing, we put those hats back on. That's what's going to attract people to what we're creating, is the fact that you are on the edge of your seat. You are not claiming to have all of the information. You are being human, saying, I am a human with this design that is designed to give you something, and let's experiment with it together. Do you want it? And they're going to know that. So they're going to come into the experiment knowing it's not this hierarchy. You will meet each other as humans. Yeah. All right. Yay. Guys, thank you. Thank you. I hope we get to play together. So if you sign up for the program, I will reach out to you, and we will start again at the end of March. But it'll be exciting.
Can I say one more thing just for you, Brandy?
I'd love to hear it.
You said one sentence, and I think it's just like, wow, it underlines it all where we are at and what it's about. And I wrote it down. To stay on the edge of my becoming. That's incredible, and that this is actually what we are not kind of coming like the old gurus. Wow, guys. Hey, I know it all, you follow me, you pay me, and you're going to get enlightened in 3 weeks human design.
Come on.
That's what's happening. It's what's happening.
Yeah.
But it's really, it's humbling in a way, that it's kind of like whatever it is that I am sharing is at the same time also my becoming. And it's just incredibly beautiful. I wrote it down. I'm going to
Thank you. That's magic. I think that's the transpersonal magic. I think that is that's all. I think that is what makes transpersonal magic. That's all. Thanks for being here, everybody. I love you all.
Thank you. Oh,
well, she's trying to get the hearts. There we go. Let me see. Oh, mine must be off. Yay.
Thank you, Brandy. Thank you for yourself with us.